Namaskar. Hello and welcome to P Guru's channel. I'm your host Sri Iyer. This is episode 368 of Daily Global Insights, and I'm joined by my co-host Sridhar Chityalaji. Sridharji, namaskar and welcome to P Guru's channel, sir.
Namaskar. Good morning to everybody, or good evening to everybody. Good morning in the United States and good evening in India.
Sridharji, let's start with UK's renewed search for a new prime minister. Liz Truss has resigned, and there are two candidates that are possible. One is Penny Mordaunt, and the other one is Rishi Sunak. But before we look at the candidates themselves, what led to this, sir, from a operational point of view? What did she get wrong?
Well, there are three things that she got it wrong right from day one. First, she quickly rolled the policy with this retrospective or retrograde tax deduction steps when United Kingdom was confronted with major strategic kind of issues. This is not the appropriate time for her to do the tax cuts. I think that's the first one, which then resulted in the markets not accepting the resolution mechanism to address the issues that the UK is facing. That then quickly cascaded into reputational damage for UK. And the pound.
Sir, something is wrong. I can't hear you clearly. Viewers, we just lost Sridharji. He'll rejoin in just a minute. So he was talking about how Liz Truss got three things wrong. We'll wait while he rejoins. Please like this video and also like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We really would like you to help us out here. You are also having an Tamil version of the same DGI-368 at 9 p.m. Here we go. Sridharji joins us. Sir, please go ahead, sir.
Okay, did you lose all of the comments or?
No, you can say that you started from saying about tax cuts.
I think the first one was the tax cuts, which was not very well received by the markets. That then resulted in backlash, which led her to change the finance minister or the treasurer of the exchequer, then who quickly put those policies to rest or pulled back those policies. Then you saw the British pound take a big hit as a result of those policies, which then cascaded into reputational damage. Britain was confronted with two major challenges. One is inflation, which is very similar to what the world is experiencing. And second is obviously the significant energy crisis and rising energy bills. Her response was not very good. So quickly you found a mutiny amongst her own conservative members, party members, and the debate is raging. And here we are. And she, within 45 days from her opening statement, which is to say, together we shall prevail over the storm, to the storm cascading her way out of the 10 Downing Street.
So your 2 cents on who you think will succeed her?
I think it's a very, if I have to put my, bet, I would want Rishi Sunak to come in. What they require is a prime minister who understands the economic as well as the domestic issues that the Britain is confronted with. He was doing a decent job, and I believe, in my view, he should be the one. He probably will have now support from the party members, which he didn't have, if you recall. Close to 72 to 28% supported Liz Truss, and he didn't make his headway. But that's just my view, because the reason is he needs to quickly restore credibility in the markets, the global reputation, and demonstrate that he can work with either the same treasurer or a new treasurer that he chooses to bring Britain reputation back into the center stage.
Sridharji, Norway is nervous. What it's seen is some drone sightings across its borders. And what does this mean for Norway and also NATO and EU? Is Russia now threatening the sovereignty of Norway? What are your thoughts? Because Norway also is a big oil and gas producer.
Indeed. I do not want to come to a conclusion that it is Russia which is, threatening, as much as I do not want to come to the conclusion that it was Russia that sabotaged Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2 or Nord Stream 1. The reason is that data is sketchy. But there has been drone sightings, around the specific energy infrastructure platforms. Norway is a big supplier of energy, especially offshore gas and offshore petrol to Europe and parts of the world. So it is a concern which they seem to have addressed by themselves. There has not been any action from NATO. There has neither been any action from other adjacent nations. It is the action that the Norwegians have taken to protect and preserve their own wealth and security, sir.
Now let's take a look at China. Xi Jinping is all set to become the Chinese premier, or I shouldn't say premier, the General Secretary of the CCP. 22nd October is the day. That today is the 21st. So tomorrow, or it's already tomorrow, or 22nd in that part of the world. So we need to see who else gets picked in. There are many lists doing the rounds. Sridharji, he is again rattling the saber, saying that he's going to unify Taiwan. He is giving a strong message that communism, security, and one nation. How realistic is his ambition to invade Taiwan?
Look, I think the Xi Jinping has a reputation. If you talk to many of the Chinese people who basically independently, objectively look at him, he's a very fierce and very determined guy in terms of what he sets out to achieve. And against the adversity of the world, he is prepared to take on. What's the evidence? Hong Kong. If you look at the Hong Kong evidence, the police forces that he unleashed, the change of government that he enacted, the pro-democracy councillors who were thrown out and put behind bars for whatever reasons. So Hong Kong is well kind of integrated, notwithstanding the fact Hong Kong is a different issue. If you look around the world in terms of all his incursions and assertions and ambitions, he has not stepped away from his militant approach, or what you call the death trap in some instances, approach in terms of achieving the agenda. How exactly he is going to roll out the Taiwan, we don't know. But there is a growing feeling that he is going to threaten, he's going to force Taiwan to come to the table and come up with some kind of a transition plan. This is the considered view. So therefore, he's not going to fall off the plane or fall off the cliff on Taiwan issue. He's going to be back at it. So what are the three things, as you rightly pointed out? Socialism. The second one, security, empowering the army. And third, unification of China as one great institution. What he has not stated is about the economic policies which led China to what it is today, which the progressive prior general secretaries or presidents have followed in China, which he himself followed, but he seems to have abandoned that. Nothing has been talked about in his policy or vision statement, Sriji.
Thank you, sir. And Japanese yen, I should say, is now at 150 to a dollar. And these are, troubling times for Japan. But not only that, even other manufacturing countries such as Vietnam are seeing a drop in demand. So inflation is one reason. The other is that this inflation is driving many countries into recession. So demand also is collapsing. Sridharji, who is going to be belling the cat, sir?
The only person who can bell this cat is the Western nations coming together and resolving the matter with Russia. What is the big Godzilla in the room? It is the energy issue, the energy security. Okay. What is the second one? The food security. Both of these things have been impacted. And this is just on the back of the world recovering from COVID, especially around the supply chains. So if you put these three things together, the first two things need to be addressed, and there is no perceptive or perceptible solution in sight, even if you look at the latest APAC meeting where they kind of went away without passing a resolution. So that's the only way, Sriji, in terms of addressing this issue, drawing more oil from the energy reserves, doing some political stunts and trying to supply more equipment to Ukraine is not going to address this issue around the world.
And in the United States, a court has essentially mm, rejected, I should say, the emergency challenge to Biden's student loan forgiveness program. Sorry for getting my words jumbled up here. So, the way I understand it, it's a little convoluted in the way it is written. The way I understand it is the Biden's student forgiveness plan, 10,000 or 20,000, is going forward. Is that a good conclusion?
That's a good conclusion. There's a circuit court which also passed a resolution that was a formal petition, and it was basically declined to say that this case is not. The Supreme Court issue is that there was an emergency session called to basically an emergency end to the student loan program, which the Supreme Court has flatly refused. So on both counts, it looks like the status quo on the Biden plan prevails, but unless Biden himself backpedals on it, because it is going to cost, and we have shown in graph, somewhere between 300 to 500 billion dollars or 600 billion dollars in terms of cost to the taxpayer.
Yes, indeed. And for that, you'll have to go back to our back episodes of DGI and you will find a very detailed analysis of the impact of the student forgiveness loan. Sridharji, now let's take a look at what the oil CEOs are saying. They are saying that by dipping into strategic petroleum reserves rather than solving the national security issues, Biden is really taking the United States and perhaps the world, as far as energy is concerned, to the brink. Um, we keep going back and forth. Nobody seems to have told Russia, stop doing what you're doing, sir. Who's going to say that except Narendra Modi did it at the SCO?
Well, I think the Europe is, you touched on two things in the earlier part of the program. NATO. Have you seen anything from NATO in the recent past? None. Okay, so silence. Have you seen Germany and France and some of the other nations? Well, UK don't even have a prime minister. Okay, so let's leave that issue. So you have three major nations, Germany, UK, and France. None of them in any position to initiate a European dialogue, except France, which keeps saying, please stop, stop, stop. And, but not, Vladimir Putin knows the vacuum. So who is going to say it? There is nobody, because clearly Biden is ready to fight and continue the fight with Vladimir rather than, coming to a resolution. So this is going to go on until, as you rightly said, people like Prime Minister Modi and some of the other countries like Indonesia, Thailand, Asian countries say, hey, we need a resolution. You're also not going to get much support from the Eastern European nations, who all kind of broke away in some form of the other from the old Cold War, the Eastern Bloc. They're not going to step up and say, because they don't accept Vladimir Putin as a leader. So it has to come somewhere from the Asian region and probably even African region to say, hey, do something for us, because this is not looking good for the world.
And before we wrap up, let's take a quick look at India news. Narendra Modi lays a foundation stone for a strategic airfield in Deesa, Deesa. Sridharji, where is this place located?
It is very close to the border in Gujarat and not too far. And that's where they're setting it up. It's almost, handshaking distance from the Gujarat, from the Pakistani border. He has called it as the strategic architecture, the strategic defense architecture. So there is going to be a whole fleet of squadron of planes, airfield, and I don't know what specific planes or what specific squadrons that is going to comprise of, but it's right at the front end of the zone to say that this is one of the deterrence mechanisms that will be put in place. So that he's shifting the game, he's shifting the playing field. If you see that, historically Kashmir was the flashpoint, but now he's shifting it to the western side, from the northern side, to say, okay, you want to give trouble? We are here. We'll come from this side. So I think that this is a very good move by India, in terms of strategic deterrence. It is no accident that there's a very big defense expo that is being held or concluded in Gujarat. To set up various defense manufacturing capabilities as well in Gujarat region. So it's a pretty good move, Sriji.
And now Hitachi is going to supply made in India power transformers for a energy park in Gujarat. We'll leave it at that point because that means that Hitachi is beginning to make their transformers in India. That's a good thing for India. Second thing is the rupee. It is now breached the 83 rupee level to the dollar, and it is believed that it might hold within a small band. I will let you comment on it, sir, and then we'll call it a wrap.
Well, I think that the India has none of the people in the world have any control on appreciating currency, basically because it's the US dollar with rising interest rates and inflation. The money seems to be going towards the US dollar from a yield point of view and from a stability point of view, naturally causing hiccups in all of the currencies. India is no exception. My belief is that with two more rates coming in, rate hikes coming in, 75 basis points around the first week of November, which is almost certain. Probably another 75 basis points in March. I will not be surprised if the Indian rupee hits 85 rupees to a dollar, not too in distant future. I don't think it's a wise decision, but I'm not the central banker. Not a wise decision for the central bank to intervene and go on putting more reserves, more money to defend the Indian rupee.
Thank you very much, sir. Viewers, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. If you liked our research, consider donating to us using the super thanks button, or you can also donate using PayPal, paypal.me/pgurus. Thank you very much, Sridharji, and we'll be back again tomorrow. And viewers, those of you who can speak Tamil, encourage us at 9 p.m. IST. We're going to have the same program in Tamil. Well, I'll be doing what Sridharji is doing. I'm a quick learner, also I like to think. So let us see how that plays out. Thank you very much, Sridharji. Namaskar.
Thank you, and best wishes to you to take the avatar in the Tamil form, sir. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you.